So, meine Lieben, heute ist der 6.4. Ostermontag. Nachdem meine Brüder und ich zusammen unerwartet das zweite Ostermontag in Lax geführt haben. Also ich bin zuerst Triller. Er hat währenddessen schon alles Sachen sauber gemacht, wir sind zurückgekommen, wir haben zusammen gebruncht, wir haben zusammen die Wohnung sauber gemacht. Sind runtergefahren, das Auto ist kaputt gegangen, geil, TNC ist gekommen, hat den Anschieber gefixt. Ja. Und ja. TNC ist schon den Anschieber gefixt. Wir sind nach Kirchberg gefahren, haben lange diskutiert am Auto, wie es weitergehen wird. Aber es sind stehen geblieben bei zuerst checken und dann weiter schauen. Voll. Anyway. He is risen. He is risen. Ja, das ist geil. He is risen. 2 Kings 24:10. Back to my main Bible, by the way. During Jehoiachin's reign, the officers of King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon came up against Jerusalem and besieged it. Nebuchadnezzar himself arrived at the city during the siege. Then King Jehoiachin, along with the Queen Mother, his advisors, his commanders, and his officials, surrendered to the Babylonians. In the 8th year of Nebuchadnezzar's reign, he took Jehoiachin prisoner, as the Lord had said beforehand. Nebuchadnezzar carried away all the treasures of the Lord's temple and the royal palace. He stripped away all the gold objects that King Solomon of Israel had placed in the temple. King Nebuchadnezzar took all of Jerusalem captive, including all the commanders and the best of the soldiers, craftsmen and artisans, 10,000 in all. Only the poorest people were left in the land. Nebuchadnezzar led King Jehoiachin away as a captive to Babylon, along with the Queen Mother, his wives and officials, and all Jerusalem's elite. He also exiled 7,000 of the best troops and 1,000 craftsmen and artisans, all of whom were strong and fit for war. Then the king of Babylon installed Mattaniah, Jehoiachin's uncle, as the next king. And he changed Mattaniah's name to Zedekiah. Zedekiah rules in Judah. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he became king, and he reigned in Jerusalem 11 years. His mother was Hamutal, the daughter of Jeremiah from Libnan. But Zedekiah did what was evil in the Lord's sight, just as Jehoiakim had done. These things happened because of the Lord's anger against the people of Jerusalem and Judah, until he finally banished them from his presence and sent them into exile. The fall of Jerusalem. Zedekiah rebelled against King Babylon. 2 Kings 25. So on January 15th, during the 9th year of Zedekiah's reign, King Nebuchadnezzar of Babylon led his entire army against Jerusalem. They surrounded the city and built siege ramps against its walls. Jerusalem was kept under siege until the 11th year of King Zedekiah's reign. By July 18th of the 11th year of Zedekiah's reign, the famine in the city had become very severe, and the last of the food was entirely gone. Then a section of the city wall was broken down. Since the city was surrounded by the Babylonians, the soldiers waited for nightfall and escaped through the gate between the two walls behind the king's garden. Then they headed towards the Jordan Valley. But the Babylonian troops chased the king and overtook him on the plains of Jericho, for his men had all deserted him and scattered. They captured the king and took him to the king of Babylon at Riblah, where they pronounced judgment upon Zedekiah. They made Zedekiah watch as they slaughtered his sons. Then they gouged out Zedekiah's eyes, bound him in bronze chains, and led him away to Babylon. The temple destroyed. On August 14th of that year, which was the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar's reign, Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard and an official of the Babylonian king, arrived in Jerusalem. He burned down the temple of the Lord, the royal palace, and all the houses of Jerusalem. He destroyed all the important buildings in the city. Then he supervised the entire Babylonian army as they tore down the walls of Jerusalem on every side. Then Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, took as exiles the rest of the people who remained in the city, the defectors who had declared their allegiance to the king of Babylon, and the rest of the population. But the captain of the guard allowed some of the poorest people to stay behind to care for the vineyards and fields. The Babylonians broke up the bronze pillars in front of the Lord's temple, the bronze water caters, and the great bronze basin called the sea. They called all the bronze away to Babylon. They also took all the ash, buckets, shovels, lamps, snuffers, ladles, and all the other bronze articles used for making sacrifices at the temple. The captain of the guard also took the incense burners and basins, and all the other articles made of pure gold and silver. The weight of the bronze from the two pillars, the sea, and the water cars was too great to be measured. These things had been made for the Lord's temple in the days of Solomon. Each of the pillars was 27 feet tall. In 2517, 18 cubits or 8.3 meters. Each of the pillars was 8.3 meters tall. The bronze capital on top of each pillar was 7.5 feet high, and 7.5 feet high. .3 meters. High, and was decorated with a network of bronze pomegranates all the way around, or 1.4 meters. I think it's 1.4 meters high, and was decorated with a network of bronze pomegranates all the way around. Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, took him as prisoners Seraiah, the high priest, Zephaniah, the priest of the second rank, and the 3 chief gatekeepers. And from among the people still hiding in the city, he took an officer who had been in charge of the Judean army. 5 of the king's personal advisors, the army commander's chief secretary, who was in charge of recruitment, and 60 other citizens. Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, took them all to the king of Babylon at Riblah. And there at Riblah in the land of Hamath, the king of Babylon had them all put to death. So the people of Judah were sent into exile from their land. Then King Nebuchadnezzar appointed Gedaliah, son of Ahikam, and grandson of Shaphan, as governor over the people he had left in Judah. When all the army commanders and their men learned that the king of Babylon had appointed Gedaliah as governor, they went to see him at Mizpah. These included Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, Johanan, son of Kara, Seraiah, son of Tanhumeth, the Netophathite, Jezaniah, son of the Machanite, and all their men. Gedaliah vowed to them, and the Babylonian officials meant them no harm. Don't be afraid of them. Live in the land and serve the king of Babylon, and he will go very well for you, he promised. But in mid-autumn of that year, Ishmael, son of Nethaniah, the grandson of Elishama, who was a member of the royal family, went to Mizpah with 10 men and killed Gedaliah. He also killed all the Judeans and Babylonians who were with him at Mizpah. And then all the people of Judah from the last I really got to do something about this. Then all the people from Judah, from the last to the greatest, as well as the army commanders, fled in panic to Egypt, for they were afraid of what the Babylonians would do to them. Hope for Israel's royal line. In the 37th year of the exile of King Jehoiachin of Judah, evil Merodach ascended to the Babylonian throne. He was kind to Jehoiachin and released him from prison on April 2nd of that year. He spoke kindly to Jehoiachin and gave him a higher place than all the other exiled kings in Babylon. He supplied Jehoiachin with new clothes to replace his prison garb and allowed him to dine in the king's presence for the rest of his life. So the king gave him a regular food allowance for as long as he lived. Kings, fucking boring chapter. Finally, I'll start with the First Chronicles. So, First Chronicles 1. From Adam to Noah's sons. The descendants of Adam were Seth, Enosh, Kenan. Oh fuck. I was happy too early. Kenan, Mahalalel, Jared, Enoch, Methuselah, Lamech, and Noah. The sons of Noah were Shem, Ham, and Japheth, descendants of Japheth. The descendants of Japheth were Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, and Tiras. The descendants of Gomer were Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarma. The descendants of Javan were Elijah, Tarshish, Kittim, and Rodanim. Descendants of Ham. The descendants of Ham were Cush, Mitzrayim, Put, and Canaan. The descendants of Cush were Seba, Havilah, Sabta, Ramah, and Septeka. The descendants of Ramah were Sheba and Dinan. Cush was also the ancestor of Nimrod, who was the first heroic warrior on earth. Mitzrayim was the ancestor of the Ludites, Anamites, Lehabites, Naphtuhites, Patrusites, Casluhites, and the Caphtorites, from whom the Philistines came. Canaan's oldest son was Sidon, the ancestor of the Sidonians. Canaan was also the ancestor of the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgashites, Hivites, Arkites, Sinites, Arvadites, Zemorites, and Hamathites. Descendants of Shem. The descendants of Shem were Elam, Ashur, Arphaxad, Lud, and Aram. The descendants of Aram were Uz, Hul, Gether, and Mesh. Arphaxad was the father of Shelah. Shelah was the father of Eber. Eber had two sons. The first was named Peleg, which means division, for during his lifetime the people of the world were divided into different language groups. His brother's name was Joktan. Joktan was the ancestor of Almodad. Shelef, Hatzarmaveth, Jera, Hadoram, Uzzal, Dikla, Obal, Abimael, Sheba, Ophir, Havila, and Joab. All these were descendants of Joktan. So this is the family line descended from Shem, Arphaxad, Shelah, Eber, Peleg, Reu, Serug, Nahor, Terah, and Abram, later known as Abraham. Descendants of Abraham. The sons of Abraham were Isaac and Ishmael. These are their genealogic records. The sons of Ishmael were Nebaioth, the oldest, Kedar, Adbel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Adad, Tima, Jetu, Naphish, and Kedema. These were the sons of Ishmael. The sons of Keturah, Abraham's concubine, were Zimran, Yokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. The sons of Yokshan were Sheba and Dedan. The sons of Midian were Ephah, Epher, Hanoch, Abida, and Eldad. All these were descendants of Abraham through his concubine Keturah, descendants of Isaac. Abraham was the father of Isaac. The sons of Abraham were Esau and Israel, descendants of Esau. The sons of Esau were Eliphaz, Reuel, Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. The descendants of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, Kenaz, and Amalek was born to Timnah. The descendants of Reuel were Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mitzah. Original peoples of Edom. The descendants of Seir were Lotan, Shobal, Sibian, Aina, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishon. The descendants of Lotan were Hori and Hemam. Lotan's sister was named Timnah. The descendants of Shobal were Alvan, Manahath, Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. The descendants of Sibion were Aya and Aina. The son of Aina was Dishon. The descendants of Dishon were Hemdan, Eshban, Itran, and Keran. The descendants of Ezer were Bilhan, Zavan, and Achan. The descendants of Dishan were Uz and Aran, rulers of Edom. These are the kings who ruled in the land of Edom before any king ruled over the Israelites. Bela, son of Beor, who ruled from the city of Dinhaba. When Bela died, Jobab, son of Zerah from Bozrah, became king in his place. When Joab died, Husham from the land of the Temanites became king in his place. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bedad, became king in his place and ruled from the city of Avith. He was the one who destroyed the Midian army in the land of Moab. When Hadad died, Samlah from the city of Masrekah became king in his place. When Samlah died, Shaul from the city of Rehoboth on the river became king in his place. When Saul died, Baal-Hanan, son of Akbor, became king in his place. When Baal-Hanan died, Hadad became king in his place and ruled from the city of Pau. His wife was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, and the granddaughter of Me-Zahab. When Hadad died, the clan leaders of Edom were Timnah, Alva, Jetheth, Oholi, Bama, Elah, Pinon, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzah, Magdiel, and Ira. These are the clan leaders of Edom. 1 Chronicles 2. The sons of Israel were Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Zebulun, Dan, Joseph, Benjamin, Naphtali, Gad, and Asher, descendants of Judah. Judah had 3 sons from Bathshua, a Canaanite woman. Their names were Onan, and Shelah. But the Lord saw that the oldest son, was a wicked man, so he killed him. Later, Judah had twin sons from Tamar, his widowed daughter-in-law. Their names were Perez and Zerah. So Judah had 5 sons in all. The sons of Perez were Hezron and Hamul. The sons of Zerah were Himri, Ethan, Heman, Kalkol, and Darda, 5 in all. The son of Carmi, the descendants of Zimri, was Achan, who brought disaster on Israel by taking plunder that had been set apart for the Lord. Oh, I remember. The son of Ethan was Azariah. From Judah's grandson Hezron to David, the sons of Hezron were Jerameel, Ram, and Caleb. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab was the father of Nahshon, a leader of Judah. Nahshon was the father of Salmon. Salmon was the father of Boaz. Boaz was the father of Obed. Obed was the father of Jesse. Jesse's first son was Eliab. His second was Abinadab. His third was Shimeah. His fourth was Nathaniel. His fifth was Radai. His sixth was Osam. His seventh was David. Their sisters were named Zeruiah and Abigail. Zeruiah had 3 sons named Abishai, Joab, and Asahel. Abigail married a man named Jether, an Ishmaelite, and they had a son named Amazah. Other descendants of Hezron. Hezron's sons Caleb had sons from his wife Atzubah and from Jerioth. Her sons were named Jesher, Shobab, and Ardon. After Atzubah died, Caleb married Ephratah, and they had a son named Hur. Hur was the father of Uri. Uri was the father of Bezalel. When Hezron was 60 years old, he married Gilead's sister, the daughter of Machir. They had a son named Segub. Segub was the father of Jair, who ruled 23 towns in the land of Gilead. But Geshur and Aram captured the towns of Jair, and they also took Kenath and its 60 surrounding villages. Closing of brackets. All these were descendants of Machir, the father of Gilead. Soon after Hezron died in the town of Caleb, Ephratah, his wife Abijah gave birth to a son named Ashur, the father of Tekoa. And this was 6th of April, 26 p.m. session of Easter Monday. And I want to finish this session if I still got time. Yes, I do. This video has to stay shorter than 30 minutes. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for everything you're doing for me, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute. Yes, Father, I wouldn't be able to do it without you, because you're right there behind me, strengthening me, giving me courage, giving me strength, and allowing me to achieve all the goals which I would not be possible to go after if it wasn't for you in my life. And you have a plan for me, you have a vision for me, and it is so much greater than I ever had imagined it for myself. And now I'm having it everywhere. Like whenever I have my eyes on you, I have my focus on you, and I just fully trust you from the bottom of my heart. If it's with my job, if it's with the woman I'm gonna marry, if it's with uni, if I drop out or if I stay, if I just don't think I can do it myself, because there's only someone who will allow me to pass this exam or not, and it's all up to you. In the moment I let go of everything and I give it into your hands and let you decide, because you know what's best for me. And whatever comes around, I just have this innate trust, Father, that if I entrust something with you, then you take care of it. Like when riding bicycle, I always say I'm divinely protected. There's someone looking after me. I have some angels, some guardian angels looking over me, protecting me. I have you, Heavenly Father, looking after me and protecting me, and it's such a beautiful feeling being loved by you, being loved by you from the bottom of your heart. And yeah, I want to thank you for it. And to finish it off, I want to pray for Nicole, but I think I'll do a separate video for that.